Hello everyone, my name is Dobby, covered in floss. I'm covered in floss here and unapologetically Dobby on Instagram. And hello, welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. I really hope that you're going to like what you see and you're going to hit this subscribe button. Let's see. So it might be a surprise for some of you that I am back so quickly, because if I remember that correctly, I filmed like 2 weeks ago. Today is Thursday, October 23rd. Yes, 23rd. And I decided to jump on Flosstube and film and tell you what was happening, because I did quite some stitching. So I am super excited to share more progress, because it also just kind of kicked me in a motivational way to stitch more, because I just wanted to share a few things with you as well. So I am very happy. And I think that I did a very similar thing that I did last time. So I showed you a project that I completely didn't stitch on since the previous time I showed that to you. And it might be a similar case, but give me a second, I'm going to double check. So hello again. I checked it. I needed to just like start my last video on my tablet to just double check, because I didn't want to do the same, and I did stitch on that, so good, because normally I would have that on my list, but this time I didn't, so I needed to double check just in case. I remembered stitching on that, but then I was just like, can we trust this brain? I have no idea. So yeah, hello. There was some stitching, and there was a new start, or rather it was a restart for probably the 27th time. Let's see. But I feel very good about it, so I'm just going to see you. I wish I could see you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what was happening. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're going to be surprised, because we are 3 minutes in and I'm getting to stitching. No rambling before that, not a whole story and so on, because there was nothing explosive. There will be a bit of a life update at the end, maybe, or in between, who knows. Maybe there will be cats coming. At the moment they are sleeping somewhere. We shall see. But basically it was raining and now I'm rambling. It was raining the whole day. So when I saw that it stopped raining and it's kind of bright-ish, I was just like, we're filming. We're using the list that we have. We are not just like trying to rehearse anything. We're just getting into that. So the first thing that I want to show you that I worked on a bit, even though it's just like, it's amazing to stitch on. However, it didn't call me so much this time. So I only did a few stitches. I have no idea how many, because at the moment I am not tracking my stitches. So I track more or less, I track my percentage, but it's more like tracking that in my head. I wouldn't call it really tracking. So the first thing is my Tone on Tone Got the Bobs by Amazing Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. And we probably all know that, but let me just show you what that's going to look like, or what the model looks like, or that the mock-up looks like. And I decided to do something completely different. So I'm stitching that with a melon floss on a peachy fabric. So it's kind of getting tone on tone, and it's just like, I absolutely love it. So a comparison where it was last time and where we are now. And let me just like show you what it looks like, just trying to get the colors properly. It's kind of true to color, so that would be amazing. I'm stitching that on 36 linen by Megan from Coffee Crafts Fabric, and I love her fabrics. They are just like so super soft and just so well made, so well dyed. Once again, just showing you this beauty. I absolutely love it. So that was my first one, and I do hope that I'm going to finish that this year still. However, I have absolutely zero pressure. At the moment, I kind of stepped away from all my plans, all my like general stitching. There is only one project that I'm working on with some kind of plan in my head, but with the rest I am just going with the flow and stitching on what I want to stitch. So it gave me lots of freedom, that's first, and the freedom brought quite some progress on some projects, so I'm super excited. So that was got the Morbs, and as we are just like going with Jacob and his fantastic patterns, my next one, and this is my love, my biggest love recently, I think. So this is House of Hearts. Let me just also show you the mock-up. When I saw it for the first time, I was just like, I need to have it. I think that I bought it maybe within few hours of that being released. I think so. Not sure, but it's just like I just went and grabbed it because it's totally got my heart, and it's just like, yeah, this is what we are doing. And I'm stitching that on the 32 count Murano in color terracotta with floss that I dyed myself, and this is a speckled floss. So let's try with the comparison, if that's going to still fit in the screen. Yeah, so I don't know why, but I'm having so much fun just basically stitching down. So it's just like here, I am here just in the middle of the pattern, and I'm just stitching that down, and it just like brings me so much joy, because usually I would be just going to the right. Okay, I'm just trying to the right. Yes, because I usually start in the top left corner, so I would just go to the right, and here just like kind of traveling down brings me some kind of joy that I haven't experienced before, and it's just like, it's fun. It's really fun. And I keep telling that, but if you have never stitched anything from Jacob, Modern Folk Embroidery, get yourself one of his freebies or find something smaller if you just want to try, and you will see how beautifully his patterns flow. This is just like, I need to follow the pattern, of course, but still it feels so intuitive how you lead with your needle and so on. There is no just like, okay, where should I go now, and trying to think about that and so on. This pattern just flows, and that was with every pattern from Modern Folk Embroidery. So I can really recommend that, because I don't know how he's doing that, but every time I stitch on anything from modern folk embroidery, it's a pure pleasure. It's really a pure pleasure. So, and again, no plans with that. I'm going to continue my stitching, and let's see where it's going to take us. I do not think that I'm going to be even close to finishing at any point soon. But that would be awesome to just do this half at least. That would be fantastic to just have this first half done and completed. And let's see where the next thing is going to go. The next thing that I stitched on, two things basically. So two things, yeah, kind of. Same designer, Caroline Manning Designs, and my huge love, so Sweater Weather. And the one that made me bought a lot of patterns, so that was Avocado Toast. And I'm going to start with Sweater Weather because last time you saw that, it was just like this tiny diamond. I think that I managed to, okay, let me show you what that's going to look like, but I think that everyone knows what Sweater Weather is going to look like. It's so beautiful, and I love the colors at the moment. It's just like a perfect autumn stitching. So, okay, yeah, nope. This is not what I want to show you. I lost my pattern keeper somewhere. Where is it? Where the heck is my pattern keeper? Okay, just like I'm the person who refuses to keep like that the screen orientation can change, because this is exactly what is happening when I leave that like that. So this is this beauty and the perfect colors. And it's just like when you look at that, at the moment when I look at that in the screen, in my camera, I see the blues, but somehow in my brain, when I was just like preparing my tiny floss cards for this project, I was just like, where is this blue coming from? There are blues. There are definitely blues. And they are just so perfectly matched to the rest that I completely, in my brain, there was no blue. So I don't know if that makes sense to do the comparison, because there is just like this tiny bit here. And I was just like letting the fabric and the thread guide me. I had no plan which way I'm going. So I started before in the middle, so that was this diamond that I had done. And now I was just like going a bit down to the side, down again, and so on. So I just like let the needle and the fabric guide me, and I'm just going with the colors. So I felt a bit of reds, I wanted a bit of green. There is this is I think 3809 or 08, I don't remember. So I was just like touching a bit here and there of different colors, just how I felt it. And it's such a pleasure. And basically I'm stitching that. This is, I think if I remembered correctly, this is Zweigart linen in count 35. I think this is 35, and I'm stitching that with one thread over two. So when I was stitching on that, and then I wanted to stitch on my avocado toast that I also love because of the colors, but my avocado toast, let me just show you what it looks like when finished. So this one, I also love the colors, and I didn't stitch too much, so you won't see too much of a difference. There is just like a bit of a top corner, so I'm just going to even fold it not to show you that. When I started stitching that, it still looks lovely and I love the look. However, I'm stitching that on 18 count and I'm stitching that with 2/1 and stitching with CXC, which is a bit fluffier than DMC. It annoys me. There is like too much thread, it feels too bulky and so on. However, so I might restart, but this one is going to stay and I will see, because my brain already had some changes in between. So I was jumping from one thread on 22 to 2 threads on 80 count and so on. So I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. Maybe I will get back to this one, or maybe this will be just like a part of the stitching and I will have a full one stitched on higher count. So let's see. I'm not saying anything. Did I do the comparison with the last time? So just in case I didn't. So yeah, that was the avocado toast. And I think because I have a few other patterns by Caroline Manning, but I think that as I have 2 that are active, I need to introduce a rule that I am not stitching on the same designer if I have already 2 projects happening. So 2 projects per designer is going to be my limit, I think, with the active projects. So 1 rule, let's see. And I just realized that I have 3 from Jacob that are active. I need to finish 1, definitely. But 1 is not very active because I put it aside again because of the fabric count. I'm definitely going to get back, but not now. So it's not that active, so I allow it. It's my rule. I can allow it. My hair is super strange today. Sorry. Next thing, and now, drum roll. Get excited because I will finally show you some. I'll finally show you some progress on my double dutch. Because last time I showed you that and I was so proud showing you here, there, blah, 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 blah. And then I compared the picture of what I showed before, and it turned out there was 0 progress. So yeah, why not? This is my brain, this is my life. It happens. Let me just I don't want to be getting up too much, so I will just try to find the. No, it's not going to happen. So I need to pause you again. Sorry. And hello. So why I needed to pause you? Because when I was just jumping to film super quickly, I forgot that not everything is on my tablet. So I need to show you double dutch, what it's going to look like when it's finished. So double dutch, this is a double dutch sampler by Diane Jordan of Sampler Cove Designs. Sampler Cove. I always have problems with pronunciation. I don't know why, but it just stops me somehow. So this is this beauty and I absolutely love it. And this is my paper pattern, and I didn't think that it's going to be so awesome to stitch from paper pattern again. I did that because I wanted to just give a bit of a break for my eyes and so on. But it's just again, maybe it's just charting, but it's flowing. It goes super quickly. So now we can do the real comparison and be prepared, because now I can show you stuff. So this is the last time you saw that. I am unable to show that next to each other because I did the top. I did the top and I was just like going with one color and I reached the corner. So I absolutely love it. And once again, let me show you I hope that it's going to be visible, but it's just like the variegation on this thread. This is a thread from Melanie from Tom and Lily Designs. So I hope that the variegation is going to be showing. It is pretty subtle, but when you look at it, doesn't show so much on the camera, but it just like gives you, again, it's so fluid, the changes of the colors, that it's just like a pleasure to look at that. So definitely, on one hand I am afraid, but on the other hand I am super excited that you are going to be seeing the same like 6-7 projects all the time, because these are the projects that are calling to me at the moment. So I don't know if that's going to last with them, but at the moment I am extremely excited because of the progress I'm making. Basically every day I stitch on this one project that I decided to stitch every day on, and then there is one of the other ones, and sometimes it's just like, I'm jumping between them, and I grabbed 3 of them and I add like 50 stitches or 100 stitches to each of them. But sometimes it's just like the whole evening when I sit and I can add like 400 or 500 stitches to that. So I'm not going to complain about that if that's growing. And especially that at the moment I gave myself another tiny rule, that I would like to first finish something before I have a new start. There is one thing that is going to definitely break this rule, but it's allowed. It's allowed because it's a kind of a SAL. Kind of a SAL. I'm going to give you details later. So that was my double Dutch sampler. And now we are coming to another project that I didn't have so much progress on, but as I said before, every stitch counts. So this is my Siege of Bunny Castle by Long Dog Samplers, and let me show you the mock-up. And I'm doing completely different colors, but this is the mock-up. And comparison the last time. So last time you were playing Spot the Difference, because I was just like adding a bit of pinks to my dragon dog, snake dragon dog, snake dog, snake deer. But this time I was doing a bit of outlines. So you can see that we did a tiny bit here, because I had only like here a part of the bird, and now I went with this one and did this line here, so it gives me like a starting point to go with this part and get to the corner. I'm not going to be doing the inside yet. I think I'm just going to go with the frame only for the time being, because this is me working with Onyx from Melanie, Tomat Lily designs, and it's just like this thread also calls my name. I have so many ideas because I have the thread of the month, and each time they are just absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you. I have here, come. So I have here the September ones. I am absolutely terrible at showing the colors. Did I show you them already? I have a strange feeling that I did, but doesn't matter. So just like, again, look at these beauties. No, I wasn't showing you these ones. I was showing you the ones that I got at the retreat. And by the way, I got the place. I'm going to Essex Needles retreats next year again, and I'm so excited. Sorry. So look at these colors. These are the September ones. I'm just like waiting now for my October ones. So I already said that as next year, I really want to stitch from stash, and I'm not going to be buying anything. I think that subscription for the threads from Melanie is staying because I love doing conversions with them. I love playing with them because no matter which way I go, it works. I always doubt myself when I convert the thread and so on, but with these threads, I never doubt. I just go with that and how it feels and everything. And I have many ideas. I have so many ideas already. So watch this space. Because definitely there is going to be more dark fabrics and these super lovely colors. So let's see. Okay, and the last project that I worked on that wasn't my restart is the Dagobah, and this is Country Magic Stitch. Let's see if I remember the name correctly. Yes, finally after reaching 80% on my stitching, I finally remember properly the name of designer. So this is something that I'm stitching for my boyfriend. It was supposed to be surprise, but I'm crappy at keeping secrets. So I didn't think that I should have blocked him on Instagram. And he saw that because I was just like, yeah, he's not looking into my post so much, so I can just post it. And he did look, and he knows. So, oh well, he knows that I'm stitching that. He doesn't know when he's going to get it, and as he is this kind of guy who remembers only the important stuff. I feel so jealous of that. I am the one who keeps all the crappy tiny details in head and so on. So I hope that maybe he will forget that I stitched that for him. So when he gets it, it's going to be super surprise for him. So this is comparison. And now I can just like show you a bit closer what I'm doing. So at the moment we are stitching like this swampy part. So there is a lot of lighter things, so sometimes you don't see it so much, but when you get closer, it just like, when I add more, it's going to get, oh, here is a good angle, I think, to see the different colors. Yeah. And again, I really love stitching on that. It's a lot of block stitching, so it goes super quickly. I try to stitch around 100 stitches a day. If I skip one day or something, I am trying to catch up on that the next day, so I am not behind with that, because I'm planning to have it finished at the beginning of December, so I can frame it and I have it as a gift. So yeah, that was Dagobah. And now the big reveal. So if you've been here, or you know me from Instagram, from my previous profile and so on, you know how many times I tried to start pandemic. And I did start it many times. And I was getting to a point where I decided that it feels too much like a chore, and it was just put aside. And I have a strange feeling that it was always about the color combo. I saw so many versions of pandemic. Let me just show you pandemic in case you don't know what it looks like, but I think that all of us just like have it like etched into our brains. So this is Long Dog Samplers. I just realized that today I had doubles from designers. So 2 Caroline Mannings, 2 Jacobs, and now 2 Long Dogs. Okay. That's a coincidence. I don't mind it. So, pandemic, gorgeousness. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just like, I think that it was one of the things that made me think of the hashtag for my Sal, out of spite, Sal. So when you decide that a pattern is not going to win over you, that you're going to have it finished, even if you are just like putting 1 stitch a month, it's just the progress. So that was pandemic for me. But again, I was doing that at the beginning of the year, and I just cannot. I don't feel that. And recently, I did an order of fabric from one of favorite shops, a new favorite shop, Creative Hannelore on Etsy. I'm going to link her down below. She's based in Germany, and her fabrics are absolutely mind-blowingly stunning. And they are super, super colorful, super vivid, and so on. And I did a tiny purchase. So I got myself, I'm just going to show you colors first. I got myself this super, super pink. If you know me, you know that I am a pink girl. Pink, red, green, and yellows. I love lots of colors. But yeah, I'm a pink girl. So when I saw this pink, just like, oh, give me the biggest piece that you have. And I also got these 2. So it's tangerine, and this one, I don't remember, coral. This is coral, I think. Yes, this is coral. Love. These are like smaller pieces, so I still need to think what I want to stitch on them, but I am almost sure that one of them is going to have, is that 9/18? I think this is 9/18. That I'm going to stitch something with 9/18 on this one. I will see. I need to do the Flosstube, but it's just like already my brain is going. And with this one, I it was just like begging for a sampler in black. I bought it because I loved the color. I didn't have anything in mind, but when I looked at it, I dropped like one strand of black on that. It was just like, yeah, we're doing it. And here is my beginning of pandemic. And suddenly, stitching on that is not a chore. I think that I was really, really waiting for a color combo that is going to work for me. And I was talking to Sabina on Instagram, and I was just like, okay, I think that one day I'm going to stitch long dog on black fabric with neon colors. Almost a bit reversed. So we have black thread and super bright color, and I love it. And the thing is that I love stitching on that because I do not need to think about color floss. It's just super, super easy to go with my 310 and just stitch on that. So you're going to see more of that, I think, because I really like stitching on that. And this is one of these patterns that I have them next to me wherever I'm sitting, in case the inspiration strikes and I can just like start stitching without just like needing to go anywhere and grab stuff. So that was the stitching. So we had like 8 projects, 5 designers. And now some plans. So I mentioned already Sal. So this is something, it was a real Sal that has already ended ages ago, but I wasn't sure about that, especially that it was a mystery Sal at the beginning, and I didn't feel the mystery. I love the pattern when it's released, but it was just like, okay, it was Sal. I was seeing that a lot, so it's just like, it was kind of okay for me not to touch it. I was living through other people's experiences, but Sabina asked me if I wanted to stitch this one, because we could just like sell that. And I was just like, yeah, count me in and so on. Just let me grab that and show you that. Everyone knows that. So why is my, oh, sorry, wrong drive. Beep. I'm so sorry. Do I even have that here? I'm going to just insert a picture here because it's just like my brain is just like running around, but no, I have it. Do I have it? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to show you a mock-up. So this is Lola Crow Stitch, the Haunted Library. Jesus, brain. I'm just going to show you the mock-up. So here's this beauty, and this is my first Lola Crow. And I am obsessed with the details, and especially with this bookshelf here. This bookshelf, this bookshelf is stunning. I would like to have something like that at home. I love this. I love this goal. The skeleton that is reading on the stairs, the skeleton kitty here. There is like this zombie hand with books, the floating lady, Edgar Allan Poe's head, and so on. I love it. And it's just like, I don't know why it took me so long to get into that, but it's just like, at the moment, since I restarted pandemic, I'm going to use the fabric that I had for pandemic for that. So I think that it was 40 count. So let's see. And I think that I'm going to do the conversion because I don't want to stitch that with CXC. And at the moment, I'm not sure if I would be able to recognize from my threads which is DMC, which is CXC. And I think that CXC is too bulky for 40 count. So I want to do the conversion with Melanie's threads. I definitely have enough, sorry. This is, I think, the first time I have the Flosstube itchy nose. I'm progressing. So I will try to convert it. Let's see how it works. Because I know that these threads, the fabric that I used previously for my pandemic, this is a gorgeousness from Xju. So Melanie's threads are going to be pure perfection on that. I hope that next time we see each other, I'm going to be able to show you already some progress. So keep your fingers crossed. And if you feel like a post FOMO, join us. Join us, and we can think about the hashtag, like, I don't know, post FOMO haunted library sale or something like that. If you also started that before, but you haven't touched it, because we all know that sales are start-alongs, not necessarily stitch-alongs, join us. Let's do it. So that was one of my plans. Now plan number 2 is for November. So November is Wild Fox Stitchery's birthday month, and she decided to stitch her first fancy lady for her birthday. And she invites everyone to just join her with stitching on a fancy lady. So as you know, I have my fancy lady, my Mirabilia Red, that hasn't been forgotten, but it hasn't been touched for 3 years. Quite possible. Would that really be 3 years already? Dobby. 2, 3. At least 2 years. We might have visited. Yes, somebody couldn't keep herself away from here. Come, baby. And we have a visitor. Hello. Yes. Maybe you will hear the purring. We call that brooming because this is the engine running. Yeah, okay. She's just sitting on my notes and making biscuits on my leg. Thank you very much, lady. Oh no, we're not doing that. No. She has a habit when she just like gets onto me before she lies down. She tries to she gets on my arm and she like tries to balance herself. So very often I just like finish with so many scratches. That's why I was just like, no, we're not doing that here. If you are cat behaviorists, you can let me know what that is. If that's like a sign of her claiming me or whatever, because definitely this cat thinks that I am her possession. There's something happening very much here. Hello, come. I'm going to take the, you can, come, show your facey. This is the facey. This is for Dominic. Hi, Dominic. This is a face and this is a foot. This is for you. And the brum brums, the brum brums. Where you going, baby? You can stay, you can be pretty. We're talking about plants for a moment. So, as I'm not showing anything, you can be pretty here. So, I'm going to be stitching on my Mirabilia Red, at least for a moment. Let's see how's that going to go. You know that she is my first and only fancy lady, so she definitely fits to the Sal theme. And that would be a very, very good opportunity to give her some air and give her some love. And the last of my plans, it's kind of still happening, and it's going to start in January. I think that I was mentioning that before, that I always wanted to do a round robin, but I could never decide on a pattern, on a designer, and so on. And also, just like living in Europe, sometimes it's difficult to find people who would be interested in the same type of stitching as you are for this kind of stuff. So Kaylee 10 Stitch, she had an amazing idea, and she came up with the stitchy version of the game Exquisite Corpse. So if you don't know that, if you don't know what that is, it's basically, I think that it started as a kind of art game in surrealist movement. There's a very surreal movement on my leg at the moment there. Can we not? Yes, she's just scratching herself on the stand. Yes. And she is now appreciating the softness of Hannelore's fabric by lying on that. Flosstube. Just don't show the butt. Don't show the butt to the public. Okay, she moved. I think that she's going to be cuddling here now. Okay. So the game is about creating an exquisite corpse. So basically, there are like 4 parts and 4 people playing. And without showing that, you start with the head. So you draw a head, then you fold the piece of fabric, the piece of paper, that only like a very, very bottom part of your drawing is showing. And the next person draws the torso. Then they fold the paper again, and the next person draws like the hip area. And the last person draws legs. And after it is done, you have your corpse. So nobody knows what the other parts look like and so on. So the results can be fantastic, can be funny, can be completely creepy. And Kaylee came up with the idea to do the same but with stitching. So it's a round robin. You start with the head, and then you send your piece to another person, and they continue stitching down. And each person covers what they stitched with just like a piece of fabric, so the stitching still can fit into a Q-snap and so on. And at the end you have a perfect body. So when I had this idea, it's just like, it was mind-blowing. I was just like, I'm in. no matter what. It's just like you need to sign me up, and it is slowly happening. So I'm going to link Kaylee's information down below, so you can go and check it and see if that's something that you would be interested in, because that might be fantastic. And I'm already thinking about my head, already thinking about what I would like to stitch and so on. So let's see. Yeah, and basically I think that that's it. I will get more to stitching. I will try to edit that tonight and post it as soon as possible. Let's see. We are below 1 hour. We are in 50 minutes, so yay! I am super, super happy. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for doing all the YouTube stuff, like liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Thank you for all the weird bird suggestions. They are still coming and I'm super excited. I bought too many patterns for sure. So yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, just drop them down below. And let's see, maybe we'll see each other again in about 2 weeks, if I manage to keep up with everything. And give me a moment, I will try to show you the floof, if I manage to move my camera. Sorry for the hand and for the finger, but I just need to move it down. Sorry, baby. Hello, that wasn't the plan. So the cat got scared, she ran away. So I think that this is a very, very Dobby style ending. Happy stitching. Bye bye.